What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my beautiful co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. What's up, guys?
What up?
Go. Feeling good on a Tuesday.
It's a Wednesday. Nice try.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Wednesday, same thing. Yeah.
Wednesday, Tuesday. Who's keeping track at this point? Guys, we have a special guest here with us today to play some poll perception. Last time he came on, it was pure pandemonium in the biggest game of Family Feud we have ever had. But he's back for a solo game today. Dave Kluge on Twitter at Dave Kluge. He's with Football Guys and Fantasy Pros, and we are hyped to have you here today, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are just doing awesome things over at Front Yard Fantasy. I just love to see the brand grow. And then reading the story that Seth Wolcock wrote about you in IBT Media was so cool. I've watched a lot of your shows before, and my reaction was always like, these guys just get along so well. There's no other brands out there that just feel like they're genuine friends through the screen. And then to find out that you guys actually were college friends, and that's how this brand started, just made me understand what you're doing so much better. So awesome article by Seth, and just love seeing what you guys are doing to this space, just bringing some fresh ideas to it. So keep it up, guys.
Oh, I appreciate that, Dave. Idiots find each other, and that's what happened with Josh Simon and I.
Yeah, they're all right. These two are all right. They're fine.
And on the same note, it's been exciting watching what you've done in the space over the past year and a half. It's your brand is taken off. You're
1,000 to a million followers in a year. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Just having fun on Twitter.
We'll be there soon.
I'm glad some people are wanting to follow along with the chaos that I bring to Twitter.
Yeah, guys, if you are not already following our friend Dave, make sure you go follow him on Twitter at Dave Kluge. It's right there below his name. Easy enough to find, and he's putting out awesome content to help you win your fantasy leagues. We got some people in the chat already here to play some poll perception. Craig said, yes, the time-honored FYF game of poll perception, where we all come together to look at Polish people. I've got some relatives that will be making guest appearances on this show. My Polish relatives will be coming on. We'll take a look at them. That was next
about the
week's show.
Wire.
I literally was just about to say it, Josh. It's like, I'll just go to the Polish church over there and grab some people.
Bam Man here says, no brainer here, but I'm flexing Waddle over Boyd and Jacoby, right? So Dave, we'll come to you first. Are you flexing Waddle over Boyd and Jacoby this week?
Absolutely, yeah. I think what's happening right now is Jamar Chase is having such a good rookie season that people aren't really realizing that Jalen Waddle is also having a spectacular rookie season. The usage is there. He has already supplanted himself as the wide receiver one for the Dolphins. Outside of that 1-2 touchdown game, he has struggled to find his way into the end zone a little bit, but you got to chase the usage. And right now his usage is elite in Miami. So yeah, I'm absolutely starting Waddle.
Josh, what about you?
I will tell you, Bam, it takes a brain to make this move. All right. I think some people with no brain might start Boyd over Waddle. I don't know.
That being said, I would start Boyd. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm starting Waddle over Boyd and Jacoby.
I'm going Waddle as well.
Yeah, it's close for you, but Waddle definitely gets the edge here.
Dan wants to know, will Justin Fields regress when Nagy comes back? Asking for a me. Dave, you're the Bears fan here. What do you think about Justin Fields when Nagy comes back? Was this game because of Nagy being gone, or were there other factors that contributed?
It is a little bit ironic that the one game Matt Nagy has, Justin Fields looks like the guy that we wanted Justin Fields to be, but I don't know if it's 100% him, because they weren't calling design play runs for Justin Fields. I mean, it's not like they really changed up their game plan. They were still committed to the run and getting Cleal Herbert the ball. They were still, really monitoring Justin Fields' aggressiveness by, not letting him push the ball downfield. All those spectacular plays that he made were just him scrambling out of a broken pocket and making magic out of absolutely nothing. So I don't think that, what we saw last week was necessarily Justin Fields getting unleashed because Matt Nagy was there. I think it was just him finding his mojo, getting a little bit of confidence and realizing, wait, I'm probably the fastest guy on this field, so I'm going to take off and you guys can try your best to catch me.
That touchdown he scored was awesome. That was an awesome play. We've been waiting to see it. I love seeing it. And to your point, it's not like his attempts went up or his completions went up. He threw 27 passes, completed 19 of them for 175 yards. That's pretty much in line with what he's been doing all season as the starter. The rushing yards and the touchdowns is where he really made his life, really made his living in fantasy. So he's going to have to keep that up. Is he going to regress? Maybe.
I feel like once you find that confidence, you see it with rookie quarterbacks all the time, where they just it clicks for them. And it just seemed like last week it started to click for him. And, I do have confidence going forward that he is going to be better than what we saw for his first few starts.
I agree with you. And I think You hit the point I've been hitting on. It's ironic that Nagy wasn't there for that game because there's no way Nagy wasn't involved in the planning and the prep for that game. You know what I mean? Like he had just as much involvement until he got on the side or until he wasn't on the sideline that week. But it is really funny that he just wasn't present for that. Bam in here said, "What's up with this COVID bug going around? A lot of players testing positive. Just sucks." Yeah, there's some big name players testing positive this week. It's definitely going to affect your fantasy lineup. So just be on the lookout. We're going to have some that we go through today. I'm sure, and I'm sure there will be more in the days to come. Whenever there's one, there's usually a couple going on. Jay Wall said, "Hey, what's good? Welcome in, Jay Wall. Glad to have you here." And Joey said, "I'll tell you what's clicking for me, all these mustaches." And that's a great reminder. Dave, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Right? You and I are both growing our mustaches out for November, for Movember. Do you want to tell them a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing it?
Yeah, of course. So this is something that I've done for years. Back when I was, working a real job in an office in Chicago, this is something that I'd put together with my office. We had about 150 sales guys, and every single year we would do this big donation drive. And then at the end of the month, we would rent out a bar and we'd sell tickets, and we were raising thousands of dollars every single month. So it's something that
awesome.
I've been doing for quite some time, and I just, really believe in it. It's getting a little bit of pushback, surprisingly, because the focus of this is on men's mental health. And I understand that, mental health for everybody is important. But at the end of the day, 80% of men or 80% of people that commit suicide are men. And there's this stigma that, you have to just, swallow it down and deal with your mental health problems. And really, I think that people need to be more comfortable seeking help. I, was very troubled throughout my teens and my early 20s, struggled with drug abuse, suicide attempts, inpatient therapy, and really just didn't know how to get a hold on it. And then in my late 20s, I decided to go to therapy and actually really invest myself in therapy, get on medication, find out what the roots of my problems were. And it just completely changed my life, my confidence, my social life, everything. And I just, I realized that I was privileged to have that ability and have those means to go get therapy. But I wish that more people out there were just comfortable seeking and looking for the help that they need. So that's what we're trying to do by having, you out there, Simon, and all these other guys. We've already raised a ton of money and we're still going here. But, I just want people to be a little bit more comfortable seeking help if they feel like they need it.
Dave, I really appreciate you being willing to share your story like that. And this is something huge. And by no means are we saying women's mental health doesn't matter. There's an extra stigma that exists around men's mental health sometimes. I know you felt it. I felt it. I withdrew from school at one point due to an eating disorder and was in an outpatient program, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 months. And I was the only guy for the entire 3-month period. And I know I wasn't the only male struggling with an eating disorder that could have used the time being there, but there is a stigma around discussing it. And that's what we're working to smash, guys, making it so we're not here saying we're going to destroy all these mental health issues, but we want to make it okay for people to talk about them. It's okay to open up. And
I'm so happy to have you a part of this, Simon. So happy that you were willing to join us on this.
Still happy with what I'm rocking right here because this is the best I got.
Can you just keep the top mustache? Do you need the landing strip on the
Here's
neck?
the problem. If I keep the top mustache, no one will even know that I'm participating. They'll just be like, "Oh, that's gross," and then move on.
You didn't shave for a few days. See, I'm from Chicago, so it's just like in our blood. We get that natural Ditka stash. It just comes in nice and thick.
It's in the air.
Yeah, kids come out of the womb with a Ditka stash.
Maybe I need to go spend a month in Chicago and it'll start coming in thicker. That's what's gonna happen.
Simon, are you shaving the middle part or does it just not grow?
So a little of both. It doesn't really grow there, but I cleaned it up. I've been
wondering that for days, and I don't know why. I just haven't asked you.
The plan is that eventually this is all going to connect. This is a full month, Dave. This is all of October.
My 5-year plan.
Maybe by next November, I'll have a functional mustache. Chandler in here says, "What's up? Drop Latavius Murray for Mike Davis or Kenneth Gainwell. He's 5-3 in a PPR league." John Luke, would you be dropping Latavius Murray for either of those players?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think I am. I think I'm keeping Latavius Murray over both of those guys. Dave, what do you think here?
I'm keeping Latavius Murray too. He's got the goal line role on a team that loves to run the ball. Mike Davis is a guy that, we've just seen him slipping every single week. His usage is going down as Cordero Patterson just gets a stranglehold on that backfield. And then Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, if Eddie asked me this question 7 days ago, I'd be like, yes, what is Kenneth Gainwell doing on your waiver wire? But last week was just such, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what happened. It seemed like the stage was set for him to take over as the RB1 in Philadelphia. And going into halftime, I believe he only had 5 touches on the entire day. So I think his role as that, change of pace back is pretty locked in. He might have some decent weeks in PPR if he's able to stumble into the end zone. But I think Latavius Murray is the guy that you're going to be able to start with confidence week in, week out of this trio.
Josh, as the Ravens fan, what say you about Latavius Murray versus these guys?
I think Latavius Murray is losing his role a little bit. He doesn't look impressive to me on the field. And the Ravens are going to be coming out of this bye, and I think they're going to make some changes. Latavius Murray was dealing with an injury himself. I think Devontae Freeman looks a lot more impressive. None of the running backs look super impressive, though, so it could be Latavius Murray. I would slightly prefer to have Mike Davis over Latavius Murray and Gainwell. Latavius Murray over Gainwell. And Mike Davis, we were kind of out on him 2 weeks ago, but now with the Calvin Ridley news, I do think that they're going to have both Patterson and Davis on the field at the same time for a lot of drives, a lot of plays. Patterson will line up a wide receiver even more, and Davis is going to be involved. So I would lean Davis here.
Okay, we've got a question from JR in his guillotine league, so he needs to survive. He wants to know who to start, Herbert, Gaskin, or Tony. I'm guessing in a flex spot. John Luke, which of these three players would you be starting this week?
Herbert, Gaskin, or Tony? I'm leaning Herbert, but let me look up their matchups real quick.
Herbert
for you, Josh. Dave, for you as well.
Herbert is the leader in rushing yards in the NFC over the last 4 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, he has seen a ridiculous snap count. PFF graded him as the number 1 rusher last week. I mean, this guy is just absolutely.
And that was like his worst game fantasy wise, like out of all his starts, but he looked good. He did.
Yeah. I completely whiffed. I didn't know much about Cleal Herbert in college when the Bears drafted him. I watched some of his tape and I was just like, yeah, this guy's nothing special. I was like, he's got this natural ability to kind of find holes and creases in the defense, but doesn't have any power or explosiveness or top end speed or anything like that. I didn't think that skill set of just having good vision alone would translate to the NFL, but he is making me eat my words almost immediately. I mean, that's what he does. Like, he doesn't have anything that's really impressive. He just kind of weaves his way through the defense and picks up 8 to 10 yards. It seems like every time he touches the ball.
It's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fun to watch. I think sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, you finish your thought here.
I was just going to say, it's been fun to watch. And until David Montgomery comes back, he's locked in as a starter for me. And even when David Montgomery comes back, lower your expectations, but I think he's earned a share of this backfield. So you're going to just lower your expectations for Cleal Herbert then and for David Montgomery a bit. I think he has rest of season value, not just value while Monty's out.
We talk about this all the time when a backup takes over, and then we say, hey, when the backup comes back, watch out, the starter's not going to have the same touches. And very rarely does that actually come to fruition. You remember last year, it was like Mike Davis has done enough to secure a role in the Panthers offense, and then Christian McCaffrey came back and took like 99% of the snaps. But this Herbert situation feels different because he isn't just, filling in serviceably. He is filling in and almost doing better than David Montgomery did. So I think that, 100% he is still going to have a sizable role when Monty comes back.
And Jeff Bell in here saying, I know someone who liked Herbert. I'm guessing it was you, Jeff. Nice call on that one.
By the way, I would lean Gaskin actually. Again, going against Houston, that matchup is really enticing, but it is very close. I'm fine going Herbert or Gaskin this week.
So we got 3 on the Herbert side, 1 on the Gaskin side. Guys, I see some more questions in here. We're going to get to those throughout the show. Before we do that, though, 2 things to remind you of. Number 1, if you have not done so already and you're watching this, you're enjoying the content we put out, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Front Yard Fantasy. It is the easiest way to show your support for this show and what we're doing over here. And Josh, I'm sure you got some news for us today.
Oh my God.
There is some news today, boys. All right. So let's just start here. Aaron Rodgers, Saquon Barkley, and Noah Fant have tested positive for COVID. Rodgers is officially out this week. Saquon Barkley, we've heard that he can still have 2 negative tests and no symptoms, and he could play this week. Noah Fant, kind of the same deal, but to be honest with you guys, I'm not expecting any of these 3 available this Sunday.
Yep.
So find other options.
Well, I will say with the Saquon Barkley thing, it's kind of interesting because they said that they're going to retest him, and they said that in the initial. So I'm not sure if there was something because they said there were a few players that tested positive on the Giants. So we'll see. Saquon is the one that probably has the highest likelihood to play, but he's also still dealing with that ankle injury. So who knows what to expect from Saquon this week?
Yeah, completely agree with you, Dave.
But Aaron Rodgers, like I just said, he's out. Jordan Love was announced as the starter for the Packers.
Jordan Love season.
It lowers, it limits everyone's upside a little bit, but Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams are staying in your lineup.
Yep.
Anyone disagree there?
No, I don't know how you can move.
I love all the
I'd bump Aaron Jones up just a little bit, if anything.
Really?
Yeah, maybe
he gets lowered for me. Just because I still think they're going to use AJ Dillon like they did last week. AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones both had around 15 carries. And if that's the case and they're scoring less points, it lowers free agent trades for me. Michael Thomas, he's out the rest of the season. Drop him. Get him out of here.
Sorry if you
had
drafted
this
him.
long.
Yeah, that sucks.
Kevin Stefanski, he told players that Odell Beckham is essentially not on the team right now.
And then he said, "Uh-oh."
Apparently, Odell Beckham showed up to practice today. He was ready to practice, and they were just like, nah, get out of here.
Wow,
I
they
don't
didn't
know
even tell him
exactly what's
before
going
he
on
left.
here.
They told him when he got to the facility.
He
That's
said
so
apparently
disrespectful.
he was ready for practice today,
All
and they were
suited
just like,
up.
no.
I don't
I
blame
don't
him.
blame him.
I feel like you got to send a message. He has been terrible. You see him giving up on his routes. His body language on the sidelines is just terrible every single week. He still has this superstar mentality, but he hasn't been a superstar in 5 years. He really needs to humble himself a little bit, and maybe, this public embarrassment of getting sent home from practice early in the week will be enough to humble him a little bit. And I think he might still have an ability to come back at some point this year. I've seen some reports saying that he is done for the year already. Hasn't really been confirmed by anybody big yet, but I think this is good for Odell. This is what he needs, is a little slice of humble pie.
We'll see. And then it just accentuates when you've got guys like Jarvis out on the field, like fully embodying that mentality of being like a team player. Like Jarvis next to Odell is just such a stark contrast in how they handle being as part of a team. It's been hard to watch as a Browns fan.
Christian McCaffrey, he has been designated to return from the IR. That does not mean he's going to play this week. That means he's going to play sometime in the next 21 days, more or less. But if he doesn't play this week, I would expect him the following week. The Raiders, they released Henry Ruggs. I think this was expected. Deshaun Jackson was released by the Rams. Not as expected, but they decided to try to find a trade, and they couldn't find it, and Deshaun Jackson was not it for the Rams.
Wheels up for Van Jefferson.
Yeah, right. Simon's a Van Jefferson fan, aren't you?
I love Van Jefferson. I've brought him up every week in the waiver wire ads for like the past 3 weeks. I love his involvement in that offense. I love the talent when he was coming out. I'm excited. Every week I get more excited about Van Jefferson.
In our earlier stream, I believe Alex said that Van Jefferson and Robert Woods are essentially the same player at this point.
Yep.
I'm not going that far, but it's
I think they're a lot closer to the 2A, 2B than they are to a 2 and a 3. Know what I mean?
I've got Rich Rebar coming on my show tomorrow, and that's one of the questions I have. I say, is it time that we start ranking Van Jefferson ahead of Robert Woods on a weekly basis? Because I think Van Jefferson is that good.
But closer to each other. I'm in. Yeah. I'm about it. Yeah. So neither Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins were seen at practice today.
Were they hiding?
DeAndre Hopkins, he was hiding. Kyler Murray, he doesn't really have to hide. He's so small already. But no, Kyler Murray, he had the injury at the end of the game. They both got hurt last game. We'll keep an eye on this for the rest of the week and see if they do end up playing. Some better news. Dak Prescott is practicing, and he is expected to start this week, unless he suffers any setbacks. Great news for the whole team there. Darren Waller is back at practice today. Like I said, some better news coming.
I missed you, Darren.
I actually just traded Darren Waller. I'm 7-1 in one league, and I have a lot of running back depth. I traded Michael Carter and Darren Waller, and I got Travis Kelce.
Ooh,
you okay with it?
All right.
I would take it.
This 7-1. Time to buy low on Kelce, coming off back-to-back not so great games. Yeah, this is the time to do it. Nice move.
I'm not saying I don't like Darren Waller. I'm not saying I don't like Michael Carter. I like them both, but I want Travis Kelce.
Yeah, how can you not?
Michael Gallup returned to practice last week, and the Cowboys are hopeful that he can play this week. Sterling Shepard, quad, he's expected to miss some time. Don't know what that means exactly, but it seems like he's going to be more or less week to week. Terrace Marshall, he returned to practice today, and Latavius Murray, his ankle, he is not practicing today. And that is all the news I have for you guys.
Man, that was a heavy news day. Guys, I see the comments in the chat with the questions. We're going to get to those, but we're going to get going with our game in a minute here. So we'll hit one of these questions first, and then we're going to jump into the first round of our game. Guys, what do you think about Deontay Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins for Jamar Chase? I'm assuming this is redraft, so we'll assume redraft.
I like the Kilo picture.
Josh,
that is Kilo.
We'll come to you first. What do you think of this trade? Deontay Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins for Jamar Chase.
Too much. Way too much. Far too much.
I agree.
Jamar Chase, I'd rather have over D-Hop and Deontay Johnson, but they're close enough to where this is too much to give up for Jamar Chase.
Yep. Guys, we're going to jump into our game of poll perception here. JL is going to host it for us. Before I pass it off to him, though, I'll explain how this game is going to work for Josh, because I know he always forgets. And for anybody watching who's never played this game with us before, how poll perception works is JL found 7 fantasy or NFL-related polls before this show. They could be on Twitter, Reddit, Poll Sports, across the interwebs. He will ask one of us what we think the results of this poll were. He may ask me, hey, Simon, what percentage of people chose side A in this poll? I'll give him a number. That's me setting the line. Dave and Josh, you will then be responsible for guessing over or under on my guess. The closer I am to the actual percentage, the more points I get. If you guys correctly pick the over under, you will get 2 points. We'll do 6 rounds like this, alternating who is guessing the number, setting the line. And then in the 7th and final round, we will all guess a number. Whoever's the closest on that one is going to get 5 points. Unless they nail it right on the head, they'll get 10. The contestant with the most points at the end of 7 rounds is our poll perception champion on this Wednesday. Josh, you almost tricked me into saying Tuesday again.
Tuesday.
Feeling good on a Tuesday.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Swamp says, yes, some Hunter x Hunter fans. You love it.
Yes.
Just watching
it's
it
my
earlier.
favorite anime.
Not to brag, but I suggested it to Josh.
You
Not
did.
to
You
brag,
did.
but I'm just going to
You
brag. Nah,
You sent me over the top to watch it.
I love sending you over the edge, Josh. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right, Simon, you're going to go first. Dave, you're second. Josh, you are third.
Hey, yeah. I like going third.
All right, Simon,
Woo.
here's your first poll. Which wide receiver would you prefer in a dynasty league? Chris Godwin or Stephon Diggs? What percentage of the public chose Chris Godwin in this poll?
So do I say this out loud or do I write it down?
No.
For right now, I'll set the line. Like I kind of talk through it and set the line, and then you'll guess over under on that one. Man, I know Stephon Diggs has been a little bit disappointing this season so far for people, but I have to imagine this would still fall on his side. I'll say that feels too low. I'll say 39% on the Godwin side. 39% chose Godwin. I think 61% chose Diggs.
39% Godwin. All right, Dave, do you think the actual percentage is over or under 39%?
I think it's above that. I think more people are taking Godwin over Diggs.
Oh, so you think it's on the Godwin side, not just more than my guess, but it's going to be on the Godwin side? I can see it.
Age, man. People in Dynasty love age.
Josh, what do you think?
I think I'm with Dave here. Chris Godwin, he's probably 3 years younger than Stephon Diggs, and
Godwin's 25, Diggs is 27.
27's young, right, guys?
I bet if we look at the actual
young.
days, it's 2.5 years if I had to guess. No, I'm
Hey,
joking. But and Godwin's probably having a better fantasy season than Diggs so far, right? It's at least probably even at this point.
Wide receiver 7
I'll take the over. I'll take the over here.
Taking the over. All right. So we got
I'm not
Simon.
saying I prefer Godwin over Diggs. That's so close. Man, that would be tough.
So we got a double over on Simon's guess of 39%.
Yes.
And reminder, throw your guesses in the chat. If you get it right, or at least closer than the guys on the stream, we will praise you. If you are really far off, we're probably going to make fun of you, but it's out of love, I promise. Dan says 38%, J-Wall 44%, Albert 35%, Swamp with 41%, and Craig with 42%. And BK asking, what's the question? You joined late. We're guessing on this poll. So we have a poll here. Which wide receiver would you prefer in Dynasty? I realize I have a typo in there. Chris Godwin or Stephon Diggs. And the guys here are guessing how many people chose Chris Godwin on this. What percentage?
It's pretty funny that I didn't realize that until you said something.
Me neither. I read it entirely fine, but it says, I think 39% of people would prefer Chris Godwin on in Dynasty.
Yep. And then both these guys think the actual percentage is over. Well, the actual percentage that chose Chris Godwin in this poll is 46%.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
We're all fine with that. We're all fine.
J-Wall almost hit it on the money there with 42.
J-Wall was 2 percentage points
44,
away.
sorry. Yeah.
Very
and Craig
nice.
only a couple away as well. Man, you guys are killing it over there. So what?
And then good friend Bias Opinions coming in here with 40%. Late guess and Truly Epic with 33%. Also good guess. Simon.
Yeah.
Everyone
would have gotten points here, right?
Yeah.
Everyone that guessed. Like you're in the chat.
Yeah. Everyone would have gotten points. Simon, you were 7 percentage points away, which gives you 3 points. And both Kluge and Josh correctly guessed the over-under, so you're going to get 2 points each.
You guys had me
Right.
nervous there for a second whenever you said the overs. Then I was like, and you said he's like 7th wide receiver on the year. And I was like, oh, shoot, he is a top 10 wide receiver right now. And Diggs is like 20, 22, something like that, right? Like he's a wide receiver 2 right now. I started getting really nervous, but
See, I personally, I think that Godwin is still a top 10 dynasty wide receiver. He had a down season last year, but I think so much of that had to do with a broken finger. Like you can't catch a ball when you've got a broken finger. And he was a top 3 dynasty wide receiver when he had Jameis there. Then he has 1 year where he's injured, and then everyone suddenly forgets how good he is. But I think that he's still a locked and loaded top 10 dynasty wide receiver.
And what was Godwin last year? Even with the injury and everything, he was still
Wide receiver 14 or 15 or something.
Yeah, he's still great. So yeah,
Dave, which side of this are you taking? If you had to choose right now, you're on the clock. Godwin or Diggs?
Godwin.
Josh?
Diggs for me.
If I was scrolling through Twitter and if I had to choose one of these options, I'd probably click on the Stephon Diggs side of this.
I think I would.
But
in
I struggle.
I think just the QB situation. I think that Diggs is gonna hopefully have Josh Allen for a long time.
Well, and Godwin should have Brady for at least another 10 years, I think.
Yeah,
at least 10 or
similar
15
for each of
give or
them.
take.
I'm not worried about QB.
Brady will
situation.
definitely retire after Godwin does.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
that's a
yeah,
fair
for
bet.
sure. After Godwin's grandchildren do. All right. Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, guys, we've got a couple questions in here we're going to hit before our next one, before we go to Dave for the poll. So we'll give you a minute to stress about what you're going to do there, Dave. We've got an 8-man PPR league. Start 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Would you trade Kittle and Woods for Andrews and Miles Sanders? So Kittle and Woods for Andrews and Miles Sanders. His wide receivers are Jamar Chase, Antonio Brown, Marquise Brown, Pittman, Waddle, and Sanders. Running backs, Aaron Jones, Mixon, Carter, Javonte, and Chuba. So with your running backs, you're likely not starting Miles Sanders. This really just seems like a trade Kittle for Andrews in my mind, because you're not. I guess you can plug Woods in. This one's a little bit tricky. Dave, what do you think on this one?
So am I giving a percentage on this one? Or are we playing?
Oh no, this is just a question from the chat.
I'm not doing this. I'm keeping Kittle and Woods here.
Josh,
I feel like you're downgrading both positions. I feel like Kittle to Andrews is a downgrade and Woods to Sanders is a downgrade. So I'd keep it as is.
Yeah, I'm not doing this trade either. Kittle and Andrews, they're about the same for me right now. Just knowing that Kittle's dealt with his injury and we don't know he's going to come back. He could play as soon as this week, though. I hope he plays this week. I've got him in a couple leagues. I'm hoping and praying. So Kittle and Andrews, they're about even for me, and Woods is valued significantly higher than Miles Sanders in my mind. So I don't know. I just think you could maybe get a little bit more.
I think you can make the argument that you would rather have Andrews rest of season than Kittle, but I'm not the one who's going to make that argument. So if you value Andrews more than Kittle rest of season, if you think they have the better outlook, then I have no issues with this trade, but I don't. I would rather have Kittle rest of season. Jail, what about you?
Yeah, I do like Andrews a little bit more than Kittle rest of season, just injury uncertainty a little bit more, but it's not enough to give up Woods for Sanders. It's just too big of a gap.
Yeah. Swamp is in here and wants us to know if we trust Marvin Jones and Devonta Smith. His other wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Crowder, and Edwards. So A.J. Brown, I'm assuming, is starting here. The question is, which of these other 2 wide receivers do you trust the most? Marvin Jones, Devonta Smith, Crowder, or Edwards? Josh?
Do I trust them? Sure. Yeah, I trust both of Marvin Jones and Devonta Smith more than Crowder and Edwards myself. A.J. Brown's your locked and loaded starter. Do I trust them? No, they're going to be inconsistent throughout the year, but they both have upside, and I'm willing to start them on a week in, week out basis. So I kind of trust them. I know that's not really answering your question, but they're fine. They're fine starters.
Dave, what do you think about these guys?
I'd say out of Marvin Jones, Devonta Smith, Jameson Crowder, and Brian Edwards, Devonta Smith is the one that I probably have the most trust in, but kind of like what Josh was saying, all of these guys are going to have essentially a 0-point floor week to week. So I don't know if trust is really the best word, because these guys are all kind of boom or bust. I would say Jameson Crowder worries me. I mean, we saw this last year where his first game of the season, he just absolutely destroyed. And then everyone, just fell victim to playing Jameson Crowder for like the next 6 weeks when he did absolutely nothing. And, I'm kind of a little bit burned by that from last year. And I can't help but think about it this year after he killed it last week. Marvin Jones, I don't trust him at all. I mean, he has had some awful weeks. We've got Jamal Agnew now, who is taking over as the wide receiver 1. We've got Dan Arnold in there, who is just commanding a ton of targets. So over the first few weeks, Marvin Jones looked like a decent option, but I am completely off on Marvin Jones now. And then just don't even get me started on Bryan Edwards. That's a guy that I just can't buy into at all.
Okay, guys, JL, if you're ready, we'll keep going through these questions as we progress through the game, but I think we're ready to move on to our next one.
Yes, sir. All right, Dave, this poll is for you, my friend. True or false? Michael Carter is the second best rookie running back in PPR rest of season. What percentage of the public chose false in this poll?
Oh my.
This is a tough one. Michael Carter is a very polarizing guy. You know, I think the sharps that are really paying attention know that Michael Carter is a great running back, but I can't help but think that there's still a lot of people out there that are holding hope for Javonte Williams. So
is there anyone else that we can even consider here? It's Javonte
I'm just putting
Williams,
Alazar's comments up here so that he's paying attention. He wanted to know what our thoughts on Michael Carter were. Well, you're about to get some right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll give it back to you, Dave.
Michael Carter just got traded for Adrian Peterson in my home league the other day. So some people are still out there just completely putting no value on Michael Carter's name whatsoever.
Maybe that was the fact. Maybe it was just they were way too bought in on Adrian Peterson. You know?
and also I think that a lot of people just haven't woken up and realized that a 5th round rookie on the Jets is a very serviceable player. He's got 24 and a half opportunities per game over the last 2 weeks. I mean, that is elite usage. So I'm going to say that this is false, but I think that I'm going to say that like 46% of people are still saying this.
46% chose false.
You're saying 46% chose false, said that he's not? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 46%. All right, Josh, is the actual percentage over or under 46%?
46% is such a good guess. In my mind, like the thing that stood out to me first was 48%. 48% was the first thing I thought of. I guess I'll take the over, but I think you're pretty close here if I had to guess.
Josh taking the over, Simon. Over or under?
The name that's bothering me with this one is not any of the big names that we thought at the beginning of the season. It's freaking Elijah Mitchell is the one
Cleal
that's
Herbert.
That's bugging me here.
Like
Elijah Mitchell's the one that's messing with my head here because he's got a very good chance of being that second best rookie running back rest of season as well. Oh, I don't know what to say here. Who's going to say false? I'll say, man, that is messy. I'll say under. I'm just going to differentiate from Josh. I'll take the under, but you're right on that line, Dave. I think that was a great guess. And this poll is messing with my head.
Yeah, this poll's messed up.
We got some good guesses here in the chat. Just to summarize, Dave guessed that 46% of the people who voted on this poll chose false, as Michael Carter is the second best rookie running back at PPR rest of season. Both Simon and Josh went different answers on the over and under. Josh took the over. Simon took the under.
And I'm right.
Maybe. We'll see. 50-50 chance. Jay Wall, 55%. Biased opinions in here, 51%. Albert, 46%. Dan, 45%. Craig, 60%. JR says 43% false. And Swamp, 47%. And Truly Epic, 53%. It's pretty localized guesses here.
And a lot of people agreeing on that over. There's just a couple people on that under with me.
All right. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose false in this poll is...
Let's go.
35%.
Woo!
35%.
10 points.
Yes, you just narrowly missed that point threshold there, Dave. But you do get 1 point because you were 11 percentage points away. You still get 1 point. And Simon, you correctly guessed the over under, which gives you 2 points.
I got to thank Josh for that one. Josh, if you would have gone under, I would have gone over. I truly was right on that line. I was just trying to go the opposite of what you went. But
this is tough for me because I think that he is the second best back. But like I said, I'm trying to think of public opinion. I feel like public opinion hasn't caught up to what Michael Carter is doing yet. I feel like he's still severely undervalued by the majority of fantasy managers.
Based on the start-sit questions we see with Michael Carter and them, I 1000% agree. Some of the he should be put up against a different tier of names than the tier of names. Like James Conner or Michael Carter shouldn't be a question in my mind anymore. It should be
Adrian
Michael
Peterson
Carter
or Michael Carter.
Right. Those questions shouldn't be a question anymore, but they are. People are asking them.
The only reason why it is a question is because of what happens when Mike White isn't the starter anymore. Michael Carter has gained a shit ton of value. I said it, all right? A ton of value since Mike White has been the starter for the Jets. The most receptions and targets he's got was 3 before that.
Yep.
I mean, I do think he's becoming more of a part of this offense, but there is a concern there. Got to mention it.
That's a good point.
It is for sure. Dave, where do you think Michael Carter finishes the season? RB what?
Where is he right
I would
now?
say
Finishes
PPR,
the season.
PPR.
Yeah, knowing where he is right now, it's going to be.
I know he
helpful
jumped
that-
from like RB 28 to like RB 20 after last week. I know he had a sizable jump in the rankings. I'm going to say that he
He's
finishes
RB
as
21 right now.
I'm going to say he finishes as RB 23.
Oh, actually, he's okay. RB 23. All right, so that's right around where he is. This is RB 21 on the season. Josh, what do you think?
I think he'll finish right at 2021.
Nice.
Yeah.
Simon, you taking the over or the under?
I think he's a mid to back range RB2. I'll take whichever one's better. I'll take that over. I would probably put him in the 18 to 20 range instead of the 20 to 24 range. Is where I would have
There's
him rest of the
levels
season.
here.
Yeah.
I think that just being on the Jets, that there's some games though where he is just going to get obliterated and have 3 to 5 points. He's going to have those huge weeks like he did last week, but I think he's also going to have some where he can't crack 50 yards and find a score.
Right.
Yep. 100%. Guys, we got some more questions in the chat here. Jake wants to know any way I can package Darrell Williams and DeAndre Hopkins for a good running back. If so, who? And then he was giving us his guess, 40% for Godwin on that poll. But Darrell Williams and DeAndre Hopkins for a good running back. Josh, are there any names or it's going to be hard to tell you exactly what players you can target in your league because we don't know your league mates teams. We can give you a tier of running back that we think might be good value for those players.
Market
So Josh,
value, yeah.
Josh, what tier of running back would you be targeting?
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins still has a lot of perceived value, while Darrell Williams is you can plug him in before CH comes back, and who knows what happens when CH does come back. But if I'm trading DeAndre Hopkins and Darrell Williams, I'm looking for a pretty good running back. The minimum I'm probably accepting is something like Saquon Barkley. I'd probably be looking to maybe try to get Darrell Henderson if I could. Joe Mixon. I think that's the range where we're kind of looking.
I'm not sure you're getting that done though with Darrell Williams limited time
Hopkins.
for relevancy. I know it's DeAndre Hopkins, but
Or
his value's
Ceilings
gone
work.
down
But the
as
other
well.
and running backs are just so much more valuable on the trade market. Like people hold elite running backs close to their chest. The first name that came to my mind when I read this was Damian Harris. And I know, that's the first guy that I could think of. Damian Harris, Cordell Patterson, one of those guys who's really outperforming his ADP that you might be able to
Could
get.
you
for a
trade
little bit
DeAndre
cheaper right now.
Hopkins for Damian Harris though? Could you actually do that? Could you motivate yourself to do that?
If you needed a running back, I think you could.
Yeah.
But that's
about-
the
I know
range
you
I was
could.
looking- like James
I'm asking
Robinson.
if you would.
What about Leonard Fournette?
Personally, I
Personally,
couldn't do it.
I mean, it would be tough, but if you need a running back, I mean, running backs are tough to come by, and Damian Harris is a high-end RB2, low-end RB1, whatever you want to call him. He's somebody that you can plug in every single week as a running back.
I like Damian Harris.
Josh loves it. Josh's face is exactly the face I'd be making if I had to make that trade. I think I think you could make it, but I would just not do.
I just think once you go the tier above that, I mean, people aren't going to be giving up DeAndre Swift or Joe Mixon or, I know you said Saquon Barkley, but I just don't know if that trade is going to get done. So I feel like you got to look at the tier right below them, which for me is, Damian Harris and Cordell Patterson and Leonard Fournette. And I think that's really the only way that you're going to be able to pry away a running back for a wide receiver.
Josh, would you do Darrell Williams and D Hop for Fournette? No.
It's a tough
I
one.
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I agree with Dave. Josh, I hear what you're saying. If you want to get this deal done,
I'm
I
the
think you're
one
gonna
yelling from the rooftop saying trade DeAndre Hopkins. I couldn't do it though.
I think if you want to get a deal done like this, you're going to have to look at the tier of running backs that Dave is talking about. You can try. You can start taking shots at guys like the Saquon Barkley range, maybe a David Montgomery if you think he's going to come back strong. But then I would lower your expectations a bit if you really need that running back right there and start looking over there. Unruly Drip has a question for us. Flex one, Amari. I'm guessing Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Michael Carter.
Amari.
It's Amari Cooper for me.
Amari. Always Amari.
Always Amari. And J Wall said a shit ton. Simon knows all about that. Yeah, you know my
Right on
brand.
brand.
Anyone
on
says
brand.
poop, they immediately think of Simon. It's part of who I am at this point. Okay, guys, are you ready to move on to our next poll?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Josh, here's your poll.
Yes. I'm
True or
ready for
false?
it.
Mike White is a legit starting option in QB leagues. What percentage of the public chose true?
Yo, people were freaking
9%. I'm gonna just go for it. 9%.
You're going for 9%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Simon, is the actual percentage over or under 9%?
Well, I can't believe you left his full title out, future Hall of Famer M. White, on this. And M. White, because you can sub in any like white guy name that starts with M. He can be Mark, Matt, Mike. I've heard him called every different name.
You'd like to do that. Yeah.
I've done it. And by heard, I think I've mixed it up so many times. But I'll say more. I think people are hyped about that game. They're just excited. While I don't agree, I think enough people are going to click true on this because they're just so excited about what they saw from him. People love to be excited in stories like this. Like, this is a narrative that people are excited about.
It's an underdog story. What do you think, Dave?
No
Over
one's
or
taking
under?
the under here.
I agree with Simon 1000%. I don't think that he's a legit starting quarterback, but I think that the public perception right now and the way that recency bias runs rampant in fantasy football, I think that a lot more people are saying that this is true. So I'm going to take the over.
Taking the over. Double over on Josh's guess.
Give me that 5% or whatever. Like, come on, be realistic here, people. Look at the top 12 quarterbacks, and you're not starting Mike White.
Mike White or Patrick Mahomes this week?
Adrian Peterson. Bias in here saying 21%. Albert 5%. Craig 12%.
I was taking this question as a rest of season question, but now I'm realizing it could be just this week question where more people could vote true if it's just this week. But so we'll see.
We'll see. Carlos 18%, J-Wall 19%, Dan 32%, Swampy 11%, and JR copying him 11%. Truly Epic with 35%. Well, the actual percentage that chose true in this poll is 13%.
Okay.
That was a very good guess, Josh.
If it was above 20%, I was going to close out of the show and just start slandering Mike White on Twitter and just say, "What are you guys thinking?" So I'm glad that we got a reasonable
number guys.
There.
I gotta go. I got business to take care of.
Very important business.
Like, this can be explained by Jets fans and Mike White's family is the results of this poll. If it was any higher than 20%, we'd be struggling there.
Wow, that is big fan base or family, one of the two.
I would venture to bet the Jets fan base is bigger than his family, but that's just a wild guess.
Like JL said, these polls can come from everywhere, and this came from NewYorkJets.com.
Yeah, New York Jets.
They sourced this one from
MikeWhiteStands.com.
Swamp said woohoo because he gets 11%, and then Craig with 12. Yeah, you guys are killing it today so far.
1 percentage point.
JR also did 11%.
11%, yeah. Well done,
guesses, guys.
Well done. All right, you guys ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Speeding up a little bit here. All right, we're on to round 2 of our poll. Simon, here is your second poll. Who would you rather roster in Dynasty PPR? Chris Godwin or Deontay Johnson?
Well, I don't think it's realistic that I have 6 points, by the way. I think 2 for the over-under and then 5.
Did I miscount?
I think 7 I should have.
I will adjust. You might have 7.
Yeah, he should have 7.
Yeah.
Another Chris Godwin question. Like, you knew that the same person was going to get both Chris Godwin questions with the order here, and I have to answer another one. But
maybe
this is tough. I'm trying to determine whether people, like, before the season, Stephon Diggs was clearly ahead of Deontay Johnson in dynasty value, right? Like, that was a clear distinction. I think it would have been near unanimous. You want Stephon Diggs, not Deontay Johnson in dynasty. I don't know how clear that is anymore. And I'm relating back to the last poll to try to determine which one, like how I think the public is going to vote.
I'm laughing at Craig's comment right now.
Man,
using your point saving JL.
Yeah. Quiet, Craig. Quiet. It's payback for asking me those ridiculously tough questions on Monday in Fantasy Fortune.
I tried to save the tough ones for you, JL.
Since Godwin's quarterback likely has another 10 years in the NFL and Deontay Johnson's quarterback is about to retire, I'll give the edge to Chris Godwin here. And you know what? I don't think Deontay Johnson's value has risen that much this season. So I'll say it's on the Godwin side, and I'll say slightly over half. I'll go with like 58%, 59% Chris Godwin.
I'm wondering how much older Tom Brady is than Ben Roethlisberger. Probably like 5 years older, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but if you subtract 1 year
No,
for
I'm
every
with you.
strawberry,
Brady's playing longer.
you add a year to Ben Roethlisberger's age for every strawberry he's eaten, and Tom Brady is
he's
suddenly
screwed.
way younger than him.
Yeah,
That's true, that's
Roethlisberger is
true.
probably like 90 years old now.
I know.
It's covered in strawberries.
He's playing like it.
All right, Dave, you think the actual percentage is over or under? Simon's guess, 59%.
I think it is substantially over. Deontay Johnson, for whatever reason, just doesn't get a lot of respect in dynasty circles. I think this is going to be. He should. I agree with you, Simon. I love Deontay Johnson. I had him ranked as a wide receiver 1 heading into this season. He was my wide receiver 11 overall in redraft, but the dynasty community just doesn't like him and loves Chris Godwin. So I think this is going to be like 70 plus in favor of Chris Godwin. So I'm taking the over.
I will say I have been very not on the Chris Godwin side of things. So I think I've been a little bit blind to what his true value is. I took Mike Evans versus Chris Godwin as like a personal battle and planted my flag on the Mike Evans side. And now I'm realizing this year it wasn't a battle. You can like both. But
yeah.
Man,
I think they're back to back. I think they're 6 and 7 overall in scoring right now.
They're both killing it this year.
All right, Josh, the actual percentage over or under Simon's guess of 59%.
Oh, I'm taking the over. I agree with Dave here. With Dave, they're about the same age too, I think, right?
Both
Deontay Johnson's probably a little bit younger.
All right, Jay Wall in here, 84%. Craig, 60%. Dan, 91%.
Ooh.
Albert with 65%. JR,
I can see
41%. Truly Epic, 58%. Swamp with 62%. Carlos, 35%. I thought that was a guess. I read
those
that.
were the ages.
Broke my brain.
Those were their ages,
Bias is
look, 5 years.
63%.
5 years. Yeah, let's
And
go.
Swamp doing the math for us, or the fact checking. Tom 44, Ben 39.
So Simon, Tom's going to play 10 more years until he's 54, huh?
Yep, until he can. And he's going to play in the NFL until LeBron plays.
I could see it at this point.
At
this point,
I think he's set the record
doubt
this
it.
year for the oldest starting quarterback ever. And it's not just that he's starting and still playing at an MVP level.
He's having the best year of his
ridiculously low.
career.
Yeah. It's insane.
Like fantasy-wise, he is, I believe. Maybe that Randy Moss year was close.
All
It's
right.
upsetting. Like I'm already declining physically. Like at 27. Like
Yeah,
I truly am
I'm way
experiencing
past
physical
peak.
decline.
Yeah.
Asshole Tom Brady, piece of shit. I love him.
Oh my God. The actual percentage that chose Chris Godwin over Deontay Johnson as the player they'd rather roster in Dynasty PPR is 63%.
Hey,
Pretty
I'll
good
take
guess,
it.
Simon.
Yeah,
Pretty good guess. You matched Josh's 4% differential with your own, which gives you 5 points. But you both, Dave and Simon, correctly picked the over-under, which is going to give them 2 points each. This is a high-scoring game.
And biased opinions nailing it. Swamp,
Nailed
you were
it.
close, 1 percentage point off, but you got outshone by biased opinions here, getting it exactly right. And shout out to Albert as well for a pretty close guess.
Very
but
close.
man, nice one. That would have been 10 points coming your direction, biased opinions. That's pretty awesome.
And then I just want to answer this real fast just because it's an easy answer. Yeah, trade AJ Brown for Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love AJ Brown.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But the value's just there, right? Right, Dave? You
Yeah.
agree?
My man Bias coming in here with the exact number. Yes.
Yo.
It's 10 points for you. 10 points
Nailed
for
it.
you.
It's been a while since we've had one on the show, an exact guess on the
Oh,
show.
yeah,
It's been
it
a
has
minute.
It has, yeah.
Dave's about to get it right now.
Dave, yeah, this next
Ooh.
one.
Let's see.
All right, Dave,
Hey,
you
Next
ready?
question. Where are we at?
All right, here we go. True or false? Sit all Jaguars until James Robinson returns. What percentage of the public chose false?
What madman is making all these true false polls with the false option first? That's what I want to know. That's preposterous.
I'll tell you after the show.
So we're saying how many have said false?
How many voted false as in this poll for true or false? Sit all Jaguars until James Robinson returns.
I'm going to say 28%. I think that a lot of people are
28%.
agreeing with this sentiment. And I'd say that 28% are saying false.
28%. All right, Josh. Is the actual percentage over or under Dave's guess of 28%?
I think it's going to be higher for sure. Just because there's going to be players with, Marvin Jones or Trevor Lawrence on their dynasty team that are like, no, you can still play them. I'm in the 18-man league and I'm playing Laviska Shenault. So I'll take the over here.
Okay, you're taking the over.
Yeah. I'll say more
Josh,
people chose
Simon,
false.
what do you think? Is the actual percentage over or under Dave's guess? 28%.
Am I stupid, or is this hard to think about mentally?
It took me a
Yeah,
Dave's
yeah.
guess of 26% false on whether you should sit all Jaguar. Like I'm struggling to.
I'm
So
gonna draw a flow chart for you real quickly.
Yeah.
I got a chart drawn
True or
down
false? Sit all Jaguars until James Robinson returns. So, how many people think that you should not sit all Jaguars until James? So, how many people think that you should play some Jaguars while James Robinson is doing his
here.
his
Okay,
stuff?
I got you.
False is a nod to the playing Jaguars.
Yes,
Okay, so
false
false
is you're
is
bullish
good.
on Jaguars players without
Yeah.
James Robinson in.
Gotcha.
That is pretty tricky.
I'll take the over, and I think Josh hit it. There's gonna be enough people who like have to start Trevor Lawrence or have to start Marvin Jones because of a gross situation, and they're just gonna click over.
See, I think the source of these polls is so important. Like you asked this on DLF, I think it's 100% saying false. But you ask this on, ESPN or somewhere where everybody's just playing in 10-man single QB leagues, I think that you're going to get very different responses.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best to think like the casual fan here that's in a 1 QB 10-man league with his buddies. So we'll see how this works out.
These are all from Twitter, by the way.
All right.
They're all from Twitter. Sometimes we mix in some other ones, but there weren't many high vote polls.
The Reddit ones get wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Dave guessed 28% of people chose false in this poll. Both Simon and Josh chose the over. And let's see, where do these guesses begin? I think here, 58%, Swamp 100%, JR 33%, Craig 55%, Albert 25%, Carlos 68%, Swamp 21%, Dan 86%, Truly Epic 75%, and J Wall 80%.
They're all over the place.
I bet there's some people a little confused like me with what side they're voting on, what they think what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm sure there might have been some people when they were voting on this poll that were in the same boat kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. The actual percentage that chose false. And okay, Mike with guess 42%. The actual percentage that chose false to true or false sit all Jaguars until James Robinson. I can't even say it. It's so tricky. Is 14%.
Whoa!
14%.
Ah!
1,348.
You can play Carlos Hyde if James Robinson's not playing.
Yeah. Seems like a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Dave, you nailed
Dave
the
get a
logic. You just didn't quite go low enough. But I think you still got a point within.
Yeah.
You got
got a
14
point. You're
percentage points away.
Yep.
But man, your logic was spot on. That people were gonna react and think, "Oh no, you can't start them," and hit that button. But man, that is much lower than I thought it was.
That was a tricky one. I'm sorry, Dave. I gave you a tricky one here.
I still think I followed it in my head. I'm still trying to figure out the question a little bit, but I think I got it.
And Dan claiming he chose 86% true, so he got it exactly right. And then J Wall said, "I legit typed 14%." Then Simon confused me.
Yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
Simon's fault. It's Simon's
Damn
fault.
it, Simon. All right. Here's a maybe an easier one to understand. Josh,
Perfect.
this one's for you.
No, I need easy.
It's this is the penultimate poll here. True or false? Pat Freiermuth is a top 12 tight end rest of the season. What percentage of the public chose true?
I believe it. I'm bought in. I think he'll be a top 12 tight end the rest of the season from here on out. Now, does the public agree with me? He just, we like to talk about how Twitter's reactionary. Freiermuth's had a couple good games here. I'll throw in the fact that Juju Smith-Schuster's out for the rest of the season, and Pat Freiermuth's getting a lot of those targets, it seems. Ben Roethlisberger can only throw the ball short. Pat Freiermuth plays in that area of the field. I'll say 63% said true.
63% chose true. Simon, is the actual percentage over or under 63%?
It doesn't take much to be a top 12 tight end, but I don't know if like people voting on this are going to realize how little it takes to actually crack that top 12 as a tight end. And if Pat Freiermuth keeps on the same path, I think he ends up in that range. I'll take the under, but I think that was a good guess, Josh. I'll go just barely under.
All right, Simon taking the under. Dave, you think the actual percentage over or under? Josh's guess is 63%.
I am taking the under. And I'm kind of with Josh. Like I agree that I think he could be a top 12 tight end, but again, just trying to think like the average fan here. I mean, if you ask the person in your standard fantasy football league, most of them probably don't even know who Pat Fryermuth is at this point. So I'm going to take the under.
That's a good point,
They
Dave.
definitely can't spell it. That's for sure.
I don't like it. I can't spell it. So,
It's really tough because you got to think too, like we live and breathe fantasy football.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're sitting here talking about third string running backs on
Every
random
day,
teams,
all
but
day.
you got to think like you got to put on your like casual, you know, fan hat, and it's kind of tough to think like that.
Yeah,
we're talking about Pat Fryermuth dynasty and all that too. So yeah, you're right, Dave.
it's the beauty of this game, though. Gives you maybe shows you a little some market discrepancies here.
Yeah, absolutely.
J Wall saying 34%, Slim 57%, Dan 100%, Mike 73%, Bias 53%, Carlos 42, Craig 70, Albert 50, Swamp
I like it
with
Swamp.
the eloquent 69%, and JR
Give it to me.
40%, and well, look who it is, Jay Felicio 72%.
Well.
All right.
Give it to me.
The actual percentage of people who chose true. As Pat Fryermuth is a top 12 tight end rest of the season is 49%.
Oh no.
49%.
We were right. Oh, it took me a second.
49%.
I got a point.
Yep. Josh, you get 1 point. You were 14 percentage points away.
Even now you're gonna be tied.
Oh man, and this comes down to the last question. Whoever is closest on this final poll, and Dave, it is a tradition. I do not ask people if they have pen and paper ahead of time. Do you happen to have pen and paper available? Oh, you are on top of it.
I'm a pro. I am a note taker through and through. I take notes during just about anything. I was 12 years old taking notes in church back in the day. I love notes. Love notes.
Dave,
also, Jay, and you said I'm late to the party, but Dave, the stash is looking phenomenal.
It is.
I agree. He's rocking it over there.
I combed it right before this show today, so it would look extra nice.
Special comb or
a little
just a
wild
normal
when I
comb?
rolled out of bed this morning.
And I want to get into this next question, but just real fast. You just said there's someone that came in and asked, should I give Mitchell for Jefferson? I think that's Elijah Mitchell and Justin Jefferson. That's what I'm assuming.
Doesn't matter. Any Mitchell.
I'm gonna take Justin Jefferson here, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Is there another Jefferson? No.
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. I
Can I
see
get
the
more?
team. It doesn't really
know
matter that much. You could flip Justin Jefferson for even more than Mitchell. I feel like I don't know. You want to disagree?
No. Make that
having Carter there makes, like, of course the value's on the Jefferson side. I would have been concerned without Carter there as the third running back to plug into that lineup, but you take the value in a trade like this, Jefferson.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, I don't think I said who had the closest one last time. I don't think I looked. Maybe I think it was Bias again. 53%.
Yeah.
Man, Bias coming on and just killing us here.
Oh, you know what? No, it was Albert, 50%.
Oh yeah,
Well
Albert
done,
killing
Albert.
it. Let's go, Albert.
Nice. All right, guys, here's your last poll.
In this
Run a
last
little
round,
late
we're
here.
all writing down our percentage on our piece of paper and we'll show it.
Yes, yeah. So we'll do a reveal. So just write down, keep your answer yourself until I call on you. Here's your last poll. What side do you prefer in a Superflex PPR Dynasty League? Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry plus a 2023 first round rookie pick.
JL, we got to ask. This poll was done within the last day or so, I'm assuming.
I knew you were going to ask, Josh. This poll was posted on Monday and finished since then.
Yeah, so he was already out for the season when the poll was.
Yes.
I just found these notes in a random notebook in my desk. This is like
Same
OG
game.
poll perception. Whenever we were playing back on the podcast before we even had a stream, this was how I kept score. It was just on a little piece of paper chart.
I do the same grid thing.
So it's
all right, guys.
Superflex PPR Dynasty League.
Superflex PPR Dynasty. What percentage of the public chose Alvin Kamara over Derrick Henry and a 2023 first round rookie pick?
Oh, people are excited about that 2023 class.
And we're guessing for the Kamara side?
Kamara side, yep.
What percentage of people chose Kamara in this one?
Ooh, some guesses coming in from the chat. Oh, let's see who's the closest in the chat.
Are you going to tell me?
Nope.
Yeah, who is the closest in the chat?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know what to go with here.
You guys ready?
All right. Yeah. I got mine written down.
Dave, you got yours?
I got it.
Dave looks cool and confident. Dave, you look like a guy who's got no worries in the world.
I don't. What's the point of worrying?
Except for
It's just
maybe
wasted
the
energy.
occasional
I'm with you on
cheese
that.
in your stash.
Occasional cheese, and that's not nothing to worry
I
about.
prefer that there.
Yeah, that's a great. It's a
If I
great
could just
thing.
walk around just sniffing cheese all day, why not?
It's an Andy Reid special. All right, you guys ready?
Let's
Ready?
do it.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, let's start with you. 54%. Dave.
Try not to be funny here, but this is the first one of the top
nice.
Nice. Nice.
Woo. All right, Simon.
Well, my answer is very different. I said 28%, and the guy has a
28%.
mustache.
All right. There's some room for all of us here.
There is room for everybody.
I'm nervous.
J Wall gets in 39%.
My
Greg,
man, I hope you're right.
56%. Albert,
Man, I hope you're right.
44%. Dan, 12%. JR, 77%. Wow. And Carlos with the inverse, 33%. Swamp, 53%. Biased with 57%. Mike with 34%. And Jay with 64%. Well,
Yeah.
the actual percentage that chose Alvin Kamara in this trade is
How many points are on the line here? How does the scoring work again?
Five.
Points. Whoever's
Unless you
closest
get
gets
it-
5.
Ooh, it's anybody's
Yes.
game.
So
All
whoever
right.
gets this is the winner.
Yep, and if you get it directly, you nail it on the head, then it's 10 points. It doesn't matter. Whoever does either of those things is going to win this game.
Come on.
You want me to summarize your guys' answer?
No.
I didn't
Come
even-
on, just give us the winner.
All right, the actual percentage that shows Alvin Kamara is 58%.
Oh
So close. Way to go, Josh.
Let's
Josh
go.
with the last minute victory, bias with 1 percentage point away. Amazing.
Woo.
I needed a win. It's been a little while now.
Next time I come on this show, I'm just gonna wait for biased opinions to give his answer. And
Yeah,
then just go
he's
with whatever
killing
he
it.
says. That guy is locked in.
Well, he's a little biased sometimes with his opinions. But
Oh my god, Josh, you're not even a dad yet, are you? You can't make those
no,
jokes.
not. I'm trying. I'm working on it though. Not
Yes,
like
I'm
actually
working-
like
I'm
sexually,
working- He says I'm
just
working-
like with my joke.
Guys, I'm working on it. What a funny answer to that.
You're not a dad yet, working on it. Yeah,
I love the immediate backtrack. The immediate like, oh no, I'm falling down the hill.
Well, no, and I love the backtrack was, well, I don't mean sexually. I just mean like with that.
Oh man.
Someone needs to clip that. That is beautiful. Guys, on that note, that is it for Poll Perception today. If you have not done so already, go follow Dave on Twitter at Dave Kluge. That is DAVEKLUGE. He
Excellent
is
follow.
easy to find over there, an unreal
follow.
follow, putting out awesome content and working with football guys and fantasy pros over there. Dave, thank you so much for coming on today, my man. This was a
Thank you
great
for having
time.
me. Always a blast. You know, anytime I can collaborate with you guys, I will be there for it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Love to see the growth in the industry. Can't wait to see where you guys are by this time next year.
Likewise,
Thanks for letting me
brother.
win, Dave.
Definitely needed that.
Oh, and trading makes fantasy fun.
Trading does make fantasy fun. That's it for us today, guys. We will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time and then again at 4:15 for some office hours. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow to both of those shows. Until then, adios, everybody. Peace.
Bye-bye.